This tutorial we're going to take a look at copyright, and we're going to take a look at some ways that you can find content, images to use in your assignments. And one of the challenges with doing anything online where you need to be able to have access to images or music is you need to be able to use stuff that isn't subject to copyright. So if something is subject to copyright, basically it means that you're not allowed to use it because the person who created that content owns it, and they don't want people to just take their content and use it for whatever they want. When the internet started to become more popular and people were able to publish their own content online, this thing called Creative Commons was invented. And the Creative Commons licensing system basically allows content creators to apply a license to their works that allows people to use them for non-commercial purposes. And there's a bunch of different kinds of Creative Commons licenses, and if you go to creativecommons.org, you can read through and learn about all of these different types of licenses. But many of the licenses just require that you don't use them for commercial purposes, which means that educational purposes fall into that, and that you give attribution to the original content creator. And so for your assignment, especially for the slideshow assignment, you're going to want to search out images. If you're not using your own images, you're going to want to search out images that are licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License so that you can use them in your project, give credit to the original owner of the content, and then have those things available to you. Flickr is probably one of the most common photo sharing sites that exists. And the cool thing about Flickr, and this is just my homepage in Flickr here, the cool thing about Flickr is that if you go flickr.com/Creative Commons, you'll see that they have a whole library full of images that are licensed under various different types of Creative Commons licenses. And this is a great thing because it means that you're able to use these in your projects as long as you give the right kind of attribution to the owner of the content. The only problem with the Flickr search tool is that it's a little bit cumbersome. It's kind of hard to, you see there's 28 million photos. You have to go and search through them all, and it doesn't do a really great job of the search tool. So some clever person came along and they invented this tool called CompFight. And CompFight.com is a Flickr search tool that allows you to filter on just Creative Commons images. So for example, let's say I want to do my slideshow about horses. I can type in horses into the search window and it will search for any images that are existing on Flickr that are of horses. Now you'll see over here on the left hand side that there's a few different options. I can choose any license, which means it will show me works that are copyright protected and also Creative Commons works, or it will show me Creative Commons only works. And this is where you want to be if you're searching for images for your projects. You want to be in this Creative Commons area. So now you can see that there's a whole big long page full of horse pictures that I can use in my slideshow. If I want to actually use one of these, I would click on the image itself, and what it does is it pops me out to Flickr. And then what I can do is right click on the image, and I can see that I can have different sizes available. I would take, for purposes of this assignment, the original size, which sometimes is quite large, but if you start with a larger image and scale it down, it will give you a better quality end product than if you start with a small image and try to scale it up. So you'll see that the image comes up, it's quite large. I can just right click on that in my browser, go Save Image As, and then I can save it. And I would recommend that you don't use the default image name that Flickr gives. You should probably just name it something that you will recognize, like white horse, and then you click Save. It will download it to your desktop or wherever you choose to save it, and then you'll notice that I can open it up, and there's my image that I can now import into my movie. One thing you'll want to make sure that you do whenever you download somebody else's photo is you want to make sure that you take a look at their actual screen name and make a note of that, because you'll want to include their name in the credits of your video so that they get the credit that they are due for allowing you to use their image. So just make sure you make a note of that name in a text document or somewhere that you can make sure that it gets into the credits of your video. So that's how you search for images using CompFight under the Creative Commons license and find images that you can use in your project.